He's a former state representative, executive director of the Democratic Party of Illinois, and deputy governor. Soon we'll call him lieutenant governor. Please welcome Christian Mitchell.
All right. Now, I'm not going to sing because that'll end the brunch real early. Good morning, Illinois Democrats. All right, now Kwame told you, so now Kwame and I both come from the 4th Ward. We served under Tony Preckwinkle, so that's not going to work. Let's try it again. Good morning, Illinois Democrats. That's better. My name is Christian Mitchell, and it is the honor of my life to be running with Governor J.B. Pritzker as your Democratic nominee for Lieutenant Governor of the best state in the nation, Illinois. Before I go into my remarks, I want to take just 2 points of personal privilege. While I'm not going to sing, I do want to just say something really briefly about our Attorney General, Kwame Raoul. When you think about how our budget is balanced, when you think about the freedoms we have, when you think about what I signed up for as a member of the Illinois National Guard, what I know our great Senator Duckworth signed up for, it was to protect us from enemies foreign and domestic, to make sure that we were guarding our own citizens, to make sure that we were protecting ourselves from floods and fires. Kwame Raoul is the reason we still have that privilege here in the state of Illinois. And his work to protect our budget is an unheralded part of how we keep it balanced. So as he might say from his favorite musical, the man is nonstop, and we owe him for his work. But I also want to do, as we all are, just a few moments on our great Senator Dick Durbin. I want to start briefly with Loretta and everything she's done with I Will and the number of candidates we have running statewide because of your work. Loretta, thank you so much for everything that you've done. And like everyone else, I have a quick story about Senator Durbin. Back in 2014, I was a state representative running for re-election and the youngest member of the Illinois legislature. So it might surprise you to know that I didn't get many calls from statewide office holders. That's why I'll never forget the day that Senator Durbin called me to tell me that he would be endorsing my re-election campaign. He said it was because I was the first black representative to sponsor the marriage equality bill. Now, Senator Durbin's been a giant in Illinois for my whole life. Thank you. Senator Durbin has been a giant in Illinois for my entire life. So imagine what it meant to a baby state representative to see that legendary U.S. Senator had taken time not just to notice something that I had done, but to get my back during a tough re-election. But that's what Senator Durbin does. He fights for what he believes in, and he supports others who are fighting too, whether they're up-and-coming elected officials like the ones you've heard from today, or dreamers struggling for their right to share in the promise of America. In his decades of public service, he's represented our state well and made life better for people all across our country. Senator Durbin, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything. Let's give him a round of applause. And now to all the county chairs and to everyone here today, thank you. What you do is hard. It's often thankless, and it is absolutely essential. To every single person in this room, you have my sincere gratitude. Because while campaigns may be written in poetry, they are won with shoe leather. Everyone here has knocked doors, recruited volunteers, managed phone banks, literally pulled voters out of their homes, sports games, and yes, occasionally bars, to go out and vote. Your efforts have meant the difference between victory and defeat for Democrats up and down the ballot. Trust me, I know. Back in 2010, I got my start in politics working as a field organizer on campaigns for Democrats running statewide. And I witnessed how your labor helped us win races that all the experts said we were going to lose. You knew that talking to voters and getting them out to vote was the secret to how we win, because you, all of you, are our party's secret weapon. So as we get into polling and prognostication season, let the talking heads talk while you're on the ground getting it done, because we know that when the chips are down, you are the people that we count on. And you do the work because you know that campaigns matter. I do this for people like my mother, Debbie. a single mom and intensive care nurse who worked herself down to the bone and still had to rob Peter to pay Paul to make ends meet when illness struck her and struck our family. I do this for people like my grandfather, James Gist, an Army veteran and a steel worker who bought a house and built a life with an 8th grade education because he had a great union, the United Steelworkers, and still had to worry about, let's give USW a round of applause. But despite that, he still had to worry about paying his health care bills when he got sick. And while that's why I do this, we do this because we know that if we elect the right people to office, then we can make our families and our friends and our neighbors' lives better. Things don't get better just because we hope and dream for them. They get better because we do the work. So yes, the arc of the moral universe bends toward justice, but it bends because we bend it together. And we can't stop now. We have to beat Donald Trump's favorite lapdog, and his name is Darren Bailey, and he's running against Governor Pritzker and I. I heard a hiss. That's awesome. He apes the same backward and reactionary politics of his buddy in Washington, and he wants to see Illinois look more like Washington, D.C. But I know how we feel in this room, y'all. We're not giving Donald Trump 1 inch of Illinois, and we're sure as hell not letting Darren Bailey hand it over to him. Because Illinois is not theirs to take. It's ours to build. You see, the Trump administration, Darren Bailey, and the rest of the Illinois GOP have declared that they are against working people. They are against people of color, against immigrants, against LGBTQ plus folks, basically anybody who isn't them and looks like them. And they are counting on our apathy. They think we'll scroll our way through their attacks on everything that we hold dear. But they've clearly never met any of you. We are living proof that they are wrong. We're going to organize. We're going to fight every single day between now and Election Day. Because, folks, the pen is in our hands. We get to write the next chapter of our state, of our country, and of this century. We get to make sure that Illinois is a place where everyone can not just afford to survive, but to thrive. We get to build an Illinois where your rights are protected and respected, and where, most importantly, the circumstances of your birth determine only where you start and never where you finish. And how are we going to do it? We're going to do it with the shoe leather that's worked so well for us in the past. So let's get to work. Let's knock every door. Let's call every phone. Let's send my friend, Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton of D.C. as our next U.S. Senator, as a trailblazer. And let's reelect the best governor in the nation, who has fought and won battles for 8 years to raise our wages, to lower our costs, and to fulfill that promise he made when he was running to put Illinois back on the side of working families. And speaking of that great man, it is now my honor to introduce my friend and the best governor this state has ever had, our soon-to-be re-elected governor, J.B. Pritzker. Let's go.